Well, when I first learned that I'd have the opportunity to give a speech tonight, I knew exactly what I wanted to say. I was going to write a poem called Your Mom Went to Seminary. It would be this great opportunity to highlight the juggling act that I've done these last few years, and let's be honest, to help my fellow classmates gain a little perspective. But alas, the Lord is kind, and He reminded me that, in fact, we've all faced unique challenges in this endeavor. And really, it's a good thing God's grace is inexhaustible because we have all needed it in abundance to persevere. And I have taken up far more than my fair share. And the Lord was also kind to remind me that there are really only 3 kiddos in this room whose mom did, in fact, go to seminary these last few years. And I realized that the poem I wanted to write was really just for them. It would go something like this. Hey, kids. Your mom went to seminary. It means she didn't go on field trips. It means car rides included Greek songs, long stretches of silence, and the in-and-out drive-thru again. Your mom went to seminary, and it means you didn't go to soccer camp. And you heard far more often than you should have, I'm sorry, I wasn't listening, and can you please say that again? Your mom went to seminary, and there was Hebrew vocab at breakfast and cereal for dinner. Forgotten homework, lunches, and permission slips, missed birthday parties and beach days. Your mom went to seminary, and it means there's a lot that you missed, and there's a lot she missed too. Hey kids, your mom went to seminary because your dad is amazing. He believes that the church has a place for women who know their God and who know their own mind, and he wants you to know that too. Your God, your own mind, and that there's a place in the church for you. Your mom went to seminary because your dad knows that vocation is not a zero-sum game, that a mom who goes to seminary is no less a mom who loves her children, and that a woman who serves the church does not have to do so at the expense of serving her family. Your mom went to seminary because your dad is not threatened by strong women. In fact, he hopes to raise them. And he's good with a little friendly competition. You know, he beat me in Greek, but I totally killed him in Hebrew. He knows that iron sharpens iron, and so he pulls a seat up to the table and he welcomes the challenge. Hey kids, there's a seat at this table for you too. Your mom went to seminary and she's not sorry. You have had a season of challenges and sacrifices, yes, but you have also had an incredible opportunity for friendships and adventures, and most importantly, to see God's faithfulness. This God did not spare his own son, but gave him up for us all. This God has upheld us and sustained us and provided for us in these 4 years. And I pray that you will look back on this season and remember that this God will give you everything you need. Hey kids, your mom went to seminary, and I'm thankful I got to do it with you. I am so proud of the ways that you have grown in this season in strength and knowledge and resilience. That even as you grieved your own sacrifices, you have learned to celebrate with your dad and I. I can't tell you that the Lord won't call us to do more hard things as a family. In fact, I can tell you that he probably will. But I can tell you that he is good, and he is wise, and he is faithful. And with him, you can do hard things. Kids, your mom is done with seminary. And I'm really excited to celebrate the end of this season with you in a few weeks at Disneyland. Okay, so obviously that's way too personal to do tonight. So I had a different idea. I would do an ode to Dr. Vanny. Let me tell you about Dr. Vanny. When Jordan and I first visited Westminster, we stayed with the Vannys, and they introduced us to Tri-Tip, and they served us beer from the tap in their dining room, and they answered a million questions about this huge potential life change that we were considering. And during that visit, Dr. Vanny recognized that I was interested in seminary too, so he treated me like a prospective student. He noticed my interests and encouraged me to pursue biblical studies. when we arrived that summer, the Vannies made an appointment for us at what would become our children's school because they asked, how is Kendra going to go to seminary if she homeschools? Dr. Vannie and my prayer group have been the voice of reason throughout my time here. They encouraged me when I was drowning in mom guilt and felt like I was failing everyone. They challenged me to press on when I was certain that quitting was the only option. They counseled me to slow down when I was tempted to rush through this opportunity at the expense of learning. And they held me together when the pandemic made it feel like everything was falling apart. And when I approached Dr. Vannie about the way he taught a verse in class, he responded with humility and patience and spent countless hours the next semester digging into that verse with me and even let me change his mind. Yes, an ode to Dr. Vannie would be fitting. He is a gift to this school, and he has been such a gift to our family these 4 years. But then I started to think of all the other incredible faculty members whose wisdom and patience and generosity have been such a gift to us as well. There's Dr. Johnson, who taught women in the church, home, and society my first semester here. And as I tried to figure out how I fit into Reformed ecclesiology, Dr. Johnson painted this beautiful picture of the myriad ways that women contribute to the life of the church. He too received my questions with humility, and his pastoral wisdom and willingness to interact with women as allies gave me hope as I entered this brand new world. There's Dr. Horton, who treats me like a scholar, even though he's a genius and I have no idea what I'm talking about. And with his wife Lisa and their kids have just become our family here. There's Dr. Baugh, whose love for the scriptures made me want to handle them with care. And President Kim, whose soapboxes put life and these studies into perspective. There's Dr. Van Drunen, whose clear lectures made accessible what at times felt completely foreign, and who always took care to acknowledge that he was teaching not only future pastors, but men and women who would serve Christ Church in diverse ways. There's Dr. Estelle, who taught me early on that perfection was an unworthy goal. And when I reached out to him, fearful of how I could adapt to the rapid adjustment required by a global pandemic, he responded quickly to tell me an extension was fine. And then he replied again to tell me everything would be okay. There's Dr. Troxel, who's more pastor than professor, quick to pull up a chair and ask me how I'm doing, and Chuck Tedrick, whose encouragement and advocacy has given me confidence as I go from here. Dr. Vannie has been such a gift, but so have so many others. We have lived these 4 years alongside incredibly gifted and godly men and women who have been tangible evidence of God's grace to us. So instead of a poem or an ode, I'll just say this. This mom went to seminary, afraid she wouldn't fit, that she might fail, that she would quit. By God's grace and the generous love of his people, I was completely wrong. Thank you.